Excellence, Monsieur Xi Jinping,
Excellency Mr. Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China, and co-president of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. Excellency Mr. Mohammed Houdisha El Ghazouani, President of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania and Chairman of the African Union. Excellency Madam, Heads of State and Government, dear colleagues, Mr. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Moussa Faki Mohammed, Chairman of the African Union Commission.
Président de la Commission de l'Union africaine.
Madams, Ministers and Heads of Delegation, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President Xi Jinping, on behalf of Africa, I would like to begin my speech by greeting you and warmly thanking you and the friendly Chinese people for the warm welcome and generous hospitality that have been extended to us in China,
et l'hospitalité généreuse qui nous ont été réservées en terre chinoise, vieille terre de culture,
an ancient land of culture and civilization that is so well and proudly symbolized by the Great Wall of China, the Forbidden City and the Temple of Heaven, among the grandiose works of your beautiful country.
entre œuvres grandioses de votre beau pays.
As the newly elected president, speaking for the first time at the summit of the China-Africa Forum with the legacy of the co-chairmanship of our forum, I would like to affirm Senegal's firm commitment to China-Africa cooperation inspired by our common values of equal dignity of cultures and civilizations, more mutually beneficial and active solidarity.
Davantage mutuellement bénéfique et de solidarité agissante. Le FOCAC, c'est tout cela.
FOCAC is all of these at once.
Je rends hommage au président Xi Jinping.
I pay tribute to President Xi Jinping for his clear-sighted vision, his dynamic leadership and the particular interest he gives to the implementation of the commitments agreed under FOCAC. The new pragmatic measures he has just announced prove once again his constant desire to take African cooperation higher. Through these numerous programs and initiatives since its creation in 2000, FOCAC has become a model of effective partnership based on dialogue, mutual respect and co-construction. I am therefore delighted to chair this opening ceremony with President Xi Jinping, in the middle of the Year of the Dragon, around the theme of working together to promote modernization and build a high-level China-Africa community with a shared future.
Et à construire une communauté d'avenir partagée Chine-Afrique de haut niveau.
This theme is certainly relevant by the purpose it aims at, in that it advocates the modernization of our partnership to achieve our common objectives despite a difficult global context marked by war, violence and extremism on all sides.
Malgré un contexte mondial difficile, marqué par la guerre, la violence,
a persistent economic and social crisis. The challenges are numerous and complex, but we can meet them together by further strengthening the relations of political and economic solidarity that are at the heart of our cooperation. As co-chair of FOCAC since the Beijing Summit of 2018, through the Dhaka Ministerial Conference in 2021, Senegal has had the privilege of witnessing the important achievements of the Sino-African Partnership. I particularly welcome the new Silk Roads initiative, which has contributed significantly to the achievement of the FOCAC objectives in terms of infrastructure, particularly in the fields of sports, ports, airports, roads, highways and railways.
Des ports, des aéroports, des routes, autoroutes et chemins de fer.
I do not forget our achievements in other strategic areas such as agriculture, technical and vocational training, hydraulics, industry and health. We cannot forget that China was the first country to show solidarity with Africa during the serious COVID-19 crisis with the provision of medical and pharmaceutical equipment and products, including the first doses of vaccines. This is in addition to the construction of the headquarters of the Center for Disease Prevention and Management, CDC, which will contribute to strengthening the continent's efforts to combat health hazards. In the commercial field, the volume of trade increased from $120 billion in 2018 to $282 billion in 2023. It is especially gratifying to note that for a better balance of the trade balance, China has committed to supporting the improvement of Africa's export capacities and facilitating inspection and quarantine measures for African products exported to China. Bearing in mind the long tradition of Sino-African friendship that knows in the struggle for decolonization and the historical principles of the non-aligned movement, I take the opportunity that brings us here to reiterate Senegal's support for the three major initiatives of President Xi Jinping, notably on global development, global security and global civilization. Similarly, I reiterate our unequivocal commitment to the principles of One China, of which the government of the People's Republic of China is the sole legal and legitimate representative. Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, our summit, which marks the end of the Senegalese co-presidency of FOCAC, also opens up new perspectives with the declaration and action plan for the years 2025 to 2027, the implementation of which will undoubtedly contribute to consolidating our achievements for the benefit of our respective peoples. In this spirit, I propose that the end of the summit's road pay particular attention to the following priorities. First, continue and accelerate the modernization and development of agriculture to eradicate poverty and achieve food sovereignty. Second, continue the momentum of mobilizing financing, including private investment, to better support basic infrastructure that stimulates growth, promotes job creation and other income-generating activities, and contributes to improving the quality of life. Third, continue to work on the industrialization of Africa to meet the challenge of sustainable and inclusive development. This will involve the empowerment of women and the employability of young people with the development of technical and vocational training to have suitable human capital. A reform of global governance, the repeal of rules and practices that hinder investment flows to Africa when the continent has the greatest need for financing. Finally, the fight against climate change and the fair and equitable energy transition to meet African industrialization needs. At the end of our term as co-chair of FOCAC, I would like to sincerely thank our friend and colleague President Xi Jinping for his constant commitment to our side. I also thank you, dear colleagues and brothers, for your frank collaboration during the Senegalese presidency of the FOCAC, which helped us to roll out our common agenda for 6 years. It is with the same spirit of sincere collaboration that Senegal will continue to support the Sino-African Forum so that it maintains all the vitality necessary for the construction of our collective ambition. I take the opportunity to extend my warm congratulations to President Denis Sassou Nguesso of Congo, who will assume the next African co-presidency of FOCAC, and wish him our ardent wishes for success. Finally, I welcome the consensus around the draft declaration and transaction, and propose to you, dear colleagues, that we adopt them by acclamation, to continue the implementation of our partnership. I wish our work every success and thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you all.